The UK's launched a huge operation to find a suspected Russian double agent in MI6. I'm going to read into this exclusive on The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive on The Guardian with the headline that the UK launched an operation to find a suspected Russian double agent in MI6. The exclusive reveals that Operation Wedlock lasted up to 20 years and took MI5 teams across the world amid panic about another Philby. Guys, while you're here, make sure to hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. This is a one, like, stories like this you're not supposed to hear about. Stories like this, the media aren't supposed to get their hands on. This kind of stuff you should not be hearing about. If I'm honest, like, to say that there's an agent, a double agent possibly in MI6 does not surprise me. It would not surprise me if there was possibility of agents in the UK or America working for inside the Kremlin. It wouldn't surprise me if it was vice versa. Like, I don't buy into this that our agency is completely squeaky bum clean. Of course it's not. It has its dirt. It has its dirty washing like any other any other of the spy agencies out there. But the question is how much compromise is there? That's the real question. And they said this has been up to 20 years, apparently, according to this Guardian exclusive. And I do say, do take it with a pinch of salt, because the Guardian, for all their work, will not have all the full facts and information about this story. And it is simply a case of an interesting article. Perhaps there may be more to it. There might not. Do I think there may be something to this? I think there may be something to this, which is why we're covering it. But to say we have the full picture is definitely not the case. Do I think MI6 is compromised? Honestly, I don't think it is. But again, we honestly don't know. I think it's kind of difficult because we share intelligence with the United States, which in my opinion is compromised because of the Trump administration. In particular that Trump administration. But I also think there's a lot of agencies in the US that don't share so much information with the Trump administration because, quite simply, they don't trust them, and I don't blame them. But it is certainly a fascinating story nonetheless, this is. So let's read into it then. So, British spy chiefs were forced to launch one of the most sensitive and risky investigations since the Cold War over fears a senior officer at the Foreign Intelligence Service MI6 was a double agent for Russia. The extensive hunt for the alleged mole, called Operation Wedlock, was run by MI6 sister agency, MI5, which deployed a team of up to 35 surveillance, planning and desk officers who travelled across the world. One trip took an entire surveillance team to the Middle East for more than a week, the Guardian has been told, where the officers put up in a CIA safe house. This trip was particularly hazardous, it's understood, because the officers travelled to the country without the knowledge of its government, and it would have been illegal under international law. Let's be clear here. There's a lot of spies and agencies doing work without the full consensus of governments. It's happening a lot more than we know. To say that it's not just MI6, we know that. The investigation is believed to have lasted in one form or another for up to 20 years. This is what they're stating. But MI5 could not establish whether British intelligence had a mole, raising the possibility that an agent may have gotten away with spying for Russia. We thought we had another Philby on our hands, said a source, referring to Kim Philby, the infamous MI6 double agent who was part of a group of Britons recruited by the Soviet Union, known as the Cambridge Spy Ring. MI6, the Secret Intelligence Service, is the UK spy agency responsible for overseas intelligence collection and agent handling. MI5, the Security Service, is the domestic intelligence agency that assesses threats to Britain's national security. The MI5 investigation began in the 1990s and is understood to have continued until at least 2015. By then, the officers being targeted by the Wedlock team had left MI6, which deployed by a staff of 2,500 at the time. The tip-off about the alleged spy came from a CIA in the US, which was convicted of convinced a British intelligence official who was working in London had been relaying secrets to Russia. During part of the investigation, Russia's secret intelligence service, the FSB, was being run by Vladimir Putin. A source with close knowledge of the operation said, "We were told the target was a Russian spy. The US believed he was leaking information to the Russians. He was suspected 1A. The job was taken more seriously than any other MI5 was involved in. Wedlock eclipsed them all." The operation began in the mid to late 1990s after the CIA told its counterparts in British intelligence about its concern. A recently published book, A Spy in the Archive, How One Man Tried to Kill the KGB, by the former BBC security correspondent Gordon Correia, referring the episode of the book that says the CIA was concerned that an MI6 officer had been turned by Moscow, but it is unclear who it was. The Guardian had discovered the UK identified the alleged spy, and a team of MI5 specialists was tasked with following him. The team did not operate from MI5 headquarters at Thames House in Westminster. Such was the sensitivity. The officer who led the surveillance was briefed about the operation in a church, according to his source. Some of those selected to be involved in the operation were initially told that they were going on a training exercise. They were only given in terms of reference when they were outside Thames House. The Wedlock surveillance team was based in a building in Wandsworth, South London, close to MI6 Riverside building in Vauxhall, the officers operating under the names of fake security businesses. At the time, the team was told the target had a senior role at MI6 with access to a wide range of highly sensitive material. MI5 technical operation teams, known then as A1, covertly broke into MI6 officers' homes and planted listening and video devices. A live feed beamed images back to an operations room. An MI5 car outside his house fitted with a camera inside a tissue box on the ledge behind the backseat, a source said. The extensive surveillance was highlighting some conduct that raised calls for concern, but this was unrelated to spying, the Guardian had been told. During the course of the operation, surveillance teams were tracked this movement abroad, following him to cities across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Very high-risk move as the team was operating outside MI5's jurisdiction. Guardian had been told the team was sent to a country with real passports under false names, with the agents warned that if they were detained for any reason, they were on their own. We can't help you. In a lot of spy films, you get told these kind of stories. Such was the concern about the alleged mole. Intelligence chief considered that they had no choice. The man being in surveillance was not thought to be working alone, a source said. Two other people also based in London were thought to be helping him. The source said Wedlock was a highly unusual operation, the longest in recent memory and probably the most expensive. To have one UK intelligence agency in effect spying on another was extraordinary, the source said. MI5 never got the conclusive proof it was looking for, they added. They said if it was not him, then potentially MI6 still had a mole to find. One concern among those who worked in the operation was that the target, a specialist himself, might become aware that he was being watched. A Whitehall source declined to comment. Of course they're going to decline to comment. So it's possible there may still be a mole, might not. But again, I would go as far as to call it a story, not really factual news. It's because, again, it's all ifs, buts, maybes, is what sources that have been leaked to the Guardian on this story. Well, I would say it's fascinating, I think is the word to describe it. Is it concerning that there may still be a mole in MI6, one of our most reliable intelligence services that protects us? Yes, it's very possible. The honest truth is we just don't know for sure. That's the honest answer. We just don't know that for sure. And we can only go by what news we read out there at the end of the day. But do I think there's like inside moles in other intelligence agencies? Everyone is kind of spying on everyone in some way, shape, or form. But it's an ever evolving situation for them as well. That's one thing we do know, is that it's ever changing, ever evolving. The technology is always increasing, and there's new ways and new manipulations that they're coming about as well. So it's an ever growing thing. Cyber attacks are becoming more frequent as well. But what do you guys honestly think about this story? What do you make about this exclusive? Do you think there's some truth to this? Do you think there is maybe it's all true, maybe it's all false? What do you guys honestly think about the possibility of a Russian double agent in MI6, or still possibly in MI6? Let me know your thoughts about it all and more down in the comment section below. If you found this video interesting or informative, please hit that like button, share it across social media, subscribe if you haven't to already. Check out Rumble and Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms as well. And if you want to financially support me in the work that I do here, hit the join button down below to become a YouTube member for as little as 99p. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.